We are told by the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, that the inflation fight may cause a recession. That to tame painfully high inflation, slower growth, higher unemployment, and potentially a recession are needed. For many, this concept of government slowing growth and creating unemployment doesn't sit well with them. There must be something missing, or maybe there is a better way. Fortunately, a correct theory of depression and of the business cycle does exist, even though it is universally neglected in present-day economics. Murray Rothbard, an American economist and historian, says that government intervention in the economy is the main cause of depressions. He says that government policies such as monetary inflation, artificially low interest rates, and government manipulation of credit markets lead to malinvestment, where resources are misallocated and businesses invest in projects that are not sustainable in the long term. This malinvestment ultimately leads to a bust, where these businesses fail and there is a decrease in economic activity. Rothbard states that government intervention in the economy not only causes the initial malinvestment, but also prolongs the depression by preventing the market from adjusting and recovering naturally. He advocates for a free market economy in which the government would not interfere in the economy, as this would allow for the market to correct itself and prevent future depressions. Let us look at how the modern cycle of depression, as described by Murray Rothbard, can be broken down into several stages. The first stage is monetary inflation, which occurs when the government increases the money supply through various means such as printing more money or increasing the amount of credit available. This leads to a decrease in the value of money and an increase in prices, which creates an illusion of economic prosperity. The second stage is artificially low interest rates. As a result of monetary inflation, the interest rates are lowered to keep the economy from going into recession. This makes borrowing cheaper and encourages businesses to invest in projects that would not be profitable if the interest rates were higher. The third stage is government manipulation of credit markets. The government intervention in credit markets creates artificially low interest rates, which leads to businesses investing in projects that are currently profitable yet not sustainable in the long term. The fourth stage is malinvestment, which occurs when resources are misallocated and businesses invest in projects that are not sustainable in the long term. These projects are only profitable because of the artificially low interest rates, but when the rates return to a natural level, these projects become unprofitable and businesses fail. It's important to understand why a business would make a malinvestment. Even though they know the money supply is manipulated, they have no way to know how or when the process will evolve. To maintain their market share, a business is more likely to take a calculated risk. The fifth stage is bust, where the malinvestment leads to a decrease in economic activity and businesses start failing. This results in unemployment, decrease in production, and increase in prices. As I record this in early 2023, notice we have an increase in prices, yet no unemployment problem yet. Under current conditions, the malinvestment was caused in large part as a result of global lockdowns and governments deciding what businesses could operate and which ones could not. Decreased production was also a result of the fear people had towards going to work or being in public places. In fact, many were incentivized to stay home. The final stage is the government attempts to intervene in the economy again by increasing the money supply and lowering interest rates. But this prolongs the depression and prevents the market from adjusting and recovering naturally. To help understand the predicament the government is in right now, let's look at money, wages, and the price for a dozen eggs, a common commodity. If the minimum wage is $14 and a dozen eggs are $2, then removing money as a medium of exchange, the minimum wage is 7 dozen eggs. Right? Currently, eggs have shot up to $4 a dozen, meaning wages have dropped relative to eggs. In fact, at 3.5 dozen per minimum wage hour, $14 divided by $4, wage buying power is half of where it was. The minimum wage would have to increase to $28 an hour to maintain the same wage buying power to pre-inflation levels. Now, look at the mess our governments have gotten us into. Raise the minimum wage to $28, price control on eggs, create unemployment, increase interest rates, print more money. In short, the past market manipulation is catching up to them. Something will break. Governments can't continue the manipulation forever. Now, back to Rothbard. Rothbard understands that allowing the market to correct itself without government intervention is the best way to end a depression and prevent future depressions. Is there a way to insure yourself or family against a future recession? Listen to my select readings of Rothbard's booklet on depressions and their cause for a slightly deeper dive.